Well, that has been literally blood, sweat, and tears. There's still a stud on there. For a reason. We will get there. We will get there, and we will make boost noises, and everything will be worth it. Well, welcome back to part 3 of the 17T hybrid turbo install. Now, I'm looking up, because I've got to be honest with you guys. I come in last night to clean up my broken bulbs and the oil and all the mess, and I was watching some YouTube, and I just got in the zone. I started taking things off, and I should have been filming, so I do apologize. But this is where we're at this morning. Now, I didn't do much, because I broke something else, but last night I got the outlets off with right-hand drive. It was bloody tight, and I probably didn't do it the easiest way, but they ended up coming up and down, actually through this gap, which was a bit weird. Yeah, that's where the outlets come out. And then I started taking some coolant lines and the other oil lines off, and managed to break this one. So this heat shield is full of oil, and it's a coolant line. So I guess that's from either, well, it must have been when the rocker cover was leaking. This car, when I first got it, had a really, really bad oil leak. I thought it was the rocker cover gasket. I changed the rocker cover gasket, and then 2 months later I noticed it's still leaking oil, and it actually had a cracked rocker cover. So God knows how long it was leaking for, but everything was covered in oil, so I'm sure some of it would have got caught up in there. I'm guessing oil contamination on the coolant hose, which is probably not designed for oil, is what's made it go so soft, and it is soft and spongy. But something else I just want to mention, getting the coolant lines out of the turbo was a bloody mission. As you can see, that one is still in there, and it's friggin' tight, so I'm gonna get on with that. I'm gonna have to use some tools, but we got it all out of this one. So the only thing that's left now is the oil feed, which are 2 Torx bits from the tops. I'll get this one out. I'm gonna lower the engine down a little bit and hopefully have a bit better access to the oil feed lines. So let's get on with it. So I don't know if you could see all that in that time lapse, but I'm trying to get this coolant line off. It's the one that got broken last night, and it's just an absolute bitch. Yeah, last night I was trying to be gentle with all the cooling lines because I was trying to reuse them. But even that one, being aggressive with pliers, they're so stuck in the turbos. Yesterday, I said in the video, I spent about 5 hours on the car. Checking all the time codes on the clips, it was actually 4.5 hours to get the subframe off to the point where we were at yesterday. And you could nearly half that if I wasn't filming, so it wasn't too bad yesterday. However, last night, I reckon I spent at least, well no, I spent 2 hours trying to get these hoses off, and then still broke one. Yeah, for some reason, my coolant lines just do not want to come out of the turbo. So let me know if you've done this job before, and if it's a common thing. Because all the reading I've done on them, nobody seems to have this amount of issue getting the coolant lines out. But yeah, that one there, being really quite aggressive with it, you can see where I'm starting to scratch it, bend it. Just does not want to come out of the turbo. Pain in the ass. Anyway, because it's broken, I don't really need to get it out. I just thought I'd see if I could get it out being a bit more aggressive and what damage it would do. And it turns out they bend quite easily, so you have got to be gentle with them if you're trying to reuse them. Anyway, I'm going to undo the top oil feed lines now, and I've got to take the rear inlet off, and then it's about time to get the main studs off. I'll see you guys shortly. Alright, the saga of getting lines out continues. This is just too tight. I've managed to crack it a little bit, but I cannot separate that line from this line. And I'm at the point where I'm just going to take the turbos off and see if I can bring them down together. I really don't want to damage this oil line because I haven't got another one, but it's not looking good. I'm going to lower the engine a bit to give us a little bit more access with that rear inlet. But I think I'm going to have to just take both turbos out together because I cannot separate the lines, and I cannot get the oil lines out the top of the turbo either. Yeah, really, really weird how these lines are just completely seized in. Anyway, I'll keep hacking along with it. Well, that has been literally blood, sweat, and tears. I cannot believe how hard it's been to get these turbos off. But all the studs are now off, and it's just a matter of banging my head again. There's still a stud on there. Well, that's the last stud out for the second time. Yeah, this has been a bloody nightmare. I cannot believe how much shit. Okay, it's coming away. And just so you know, I'm pulling them both down together because I cannot get the oil feeds off. Oh, God. And she doesn't want to come off. I'm not stopping it. It's that heat shield. Gotta take a heat shield off. All right, I have a temp 3. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that heat shield. Okay. No, they still don't come off. What the hell? They appear to be... It's almost like there's still a fucking... It's almost like there's still a fucking nut. Oh my God. There's another nut on there. Wow. Oh God, I'm not even tired. This has just been a nightmare. This has just been a friggin' nightmare of a job. For no reason. We will get there. We will get there. And we will make boost noises. And everything will be worth it. Okay. Oh God, it's going to fall on my head now. All right. So I managed to leave 2 studs still in there. I think I've done them all. Hey, that turbo's just literally just sort of fallen off. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is the part where it covers me in shit. Okay, so we're hooking on the heat shield, which I thought might happen. Okay, I need you to sort of stay there. I'll take the back one off, please. Hey Siri, can you call David? Can you hear me? Need help. I need you to hold that turbo. They're still connected with the oil lines, and I really don't want to damage the oil lines. But I feel like we're gonna. Oh. If that hasn't damaged the oil lines, I'm pretty amazed.
Stay connected together.
Yeah, oh, escape. Fucking vacuum. Oh, why don't you come off? If
Go down your way.
You reckon? Okay.
Yep, if you take that turbo.
Yeah, got the back one.
Pull this thing up like that.
Oh, I got that one. You pull that one.
That's as far as I got.
Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God.
What are these?
Well, they're off, and I haven't been that excited to take something off since the first time I had sex. That was a bit of a mission. Anyway, now I've actually got it out. I'm going to try and get these oil lines off. Now, I still want to use these oil lines, but they did get twisted a little bit then, but it's just crazy how you just got to wiggle and wiggle and wiggle and wiggle. I just don't want to come out. Then you end up levering them and it just feels like something's gonna... Hey, it's going! It's going! Oh, sucked back in. Oh my God, it's so weird. Come on. Hey, that one's out. Thank God for that. Try this one. That one's come loose. We bent it a fair bit as we were pulling it out of the car. See, it's loose, but you just can't get it out. It's like it's almost like they're on the vacuum or something. There's no chance of getting them out while they're in the car. Wiggle, wiggle. Oh, that was the trick. Had to come out square. I guess the tolerance is just so tight, but man, that was... There's not a lot of stuff I struggle with DIYing, but getting these lines out has broken me. Well guys, let's have a look at the damage and work out if we're going to be able to reuse any of these lines or what I'm going to have to order. Well guys, this is the mess that I've taken off the car. Now, as I said in part 1, I hadn't actually bought any new oil lines or coolant lines, and I was really hoping to be able to reuse them. However, we definitely had a problem with the cooling line on that rear turbo. She's just wedged in there, and I've just really struggled. You can spin them, but just can't get the buggers out. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. But this line here is that one that actually broke, and you can see the insulation is just full of oil. Now that's from having an oil leak, and actually you can see the hose is actually bulged up there already. So that had already started to split, but I wasn't aware of it. But yeah, the hose has just gone super soft. Bit crappy. That is the coolant return line. They have the heat shields on them because they sit on top of the turbos. I've actually, this morning, first thing, ordered both of those two lines, and I was concerned that this one might be full of oil as well and have the same perishing problem. I'm not going to take the heat shield off, but so we got those two there. They're getting replaced. Luckily, I should have them tomorrow, so it'll still be good to get the turbos on for the weekend. Fingers crossed. They are the coolant feed lines. Rubber's dirty, but absolutely fine condition. I've got new O-rings for those. These are the two oil feeds, apart from where I'd mangled that fitting a little bit, getting it off. That is going to be all good. The braided sections actually all steam fine. I'm going to give everything a good thorough clean, make sure everything's flowing properly, no issues there. And the oil drains, this one I've seen lots of photos where this part of the braid is quite crushed. Mine's actually still in good nick, quite flexible. Again, I'm going to flush it out. It should be fine though, so I'm going to get away with it. They're the only two lines that are going to need to be replaced. While we've got the turbos out, in fact I might do it separately. I'll see how long this video is, but I do want to put them side by side. I'll probably clean everything first and see the size differences between the hybrids and the stock ones. These are the original turbos, done 157,000 Ks. If you haven't been following this build since we started, this car did originally have a JB4 on it, and from what I can see, sort of tracking down the history, I reckon it's had a JB4 for a long time. So it's probably been running high boost for quite a while, or higher boost. And yeah, minimal play in these turbos. They weren't smoking at all. The only problem with them was the wastegate rattle. And yeah, I was quite surprised with how much movement we have got in the wastegates. A hell of a lot more movement than I've got in the Chinese hybrids. It's interesting. I've just noticed all the white in there. I think that's from E85. Can anyone confirm that? I don't remember it being that white when we did the downpipes. Yeah, if anybody knows what that white stuff is, please comment below. But they're the two turbos, man. I've got to get everything cleaned up. I'm going to go and see how long this video is to this point, and I might cut it today so I'm not stressing out like I was yesterday. Look, if this does become the outro, thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow is putting the new turbo on time, I think. I might do some comparisons. We'll see how we go. Anyway, guys, if you've got any input, any thoughts on what you've seen today, if you know a better method for getting the coolant lines out of the turbos, comment below, because that killed me. That has taken way too long. All the other DIYs that I've seen and read about, they don't have this issue getting the lines out the turbos. But mine were just an absolute bitch, but never been replaced ever. And they have done 160,000 Ks. Anyway, guys, look, thank you very much for following along. We're getting close to getting these hybrids on. I'm starting to get excited. Until the next one, peace.